Hi, welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how I made this Paw Patrol cake topper. This tutorial is going to be divided into two parts. So the first part will be designing this cake topper from scratch on Cricut Design Space. And then the next part of it will be the assembly video. Both equally as important because they all contain a lot of good tips and tricks when it comes to making your own cake topper. So make sure you stay tuned to the end to watch this first part and watch out for the next video coming out tomorrow, which is the assembly part. So, Paw Patrol cake topper is very popular, but equally is any character cake toppers you can use. So, I've decided to use a new style shaker type design to make this cake topper. So, the first thing that I do when I make a shaker cake topper is I build it from scratch. So, let me just ungroup this to show you what I do. So, you have your print and cut images, which is the Paw Patrol, which I'm going to show you how to download those. You have your text, which is your name and the age of the child. The bone is print and cut image, which I'm going to show you how to get, and the Paw Patrol characters are print and cut images I'm going to show you how to get. And then you have the round shaker, which has disappeared somewhere. Which I'm going to show you how to design it from scratch. However, if you want to, if you have Cricut access and you want to just upload it from there, here is the M number, which I'm going to link below. You can just go into images and then just type in the M number or the round shaker cake topper. And hopefully it should come up amongst all of the images there. For me to find it quickly, because it's something that I've designed, I will just go into my purchased file and it should be there. Okay, so I'm going to add it to Canvas. So that's one way of getting the round shaker topper. Another way is to design your own, which I'm going to show you how to do it. So just bear with me. So to do that, go to your shapes, go to circle, change the size to 6 inches, and then duplicate it and change the new size to 3 inches. Change the color of the new one. Pick any color, doesn't really matter. Pop it in the middle, select both, align, center, and slice. Once it's sliced, delete the inside and then leave that one. So we want to use the inner one. We're going to do an offset. Okay, so offset of 0.1 is fine. Apply, select both and slice. Now you can delete the bigger pieces. Okay, do the same. Offset, apply, select both, slice. Okay, now you can delete this black piece. Now you want to do an offset of this. So offset, apply, offset, apply. Okay, now you want to change the colors starting from the black one to blue was our first color, and then second color was red, and third color was yellow. Okay, so we have the top of our shaker. I'm just going to group this so that they don't fall out of place. The next thing is the acetate that goes into the shaker, which is this. Actually, we don't need the smaller one, so I'm just going to delete this. So this acetate, I'm just going to change it to a lighter color so that we know it's acetate, and that goes under the top layer. And then to do the base layer, I'm just going to duplicate that. You can either press this duplicate button or Control D, and you want to make it bigger. So I want to check the size of our top layers, and it's 6.667. So I'm just going to copy that, Control C, and make this that size. Okay, and then I'll change the color to a blue color, and that goes to the back, right back of the shaker. But we want an inner layer, which is going to be a print and cut. So I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to change it to a lighter color just so I can tell the difference. And then I'm going to make it 6.2 inches, just so it's slightly smaller than this bottom layer. Okay, and the next, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this, arrange this and send it to back, just so I can check that they're all aligned on the inside as well as on the outside. Okay, which that's fine. So send that to back. Bring to front again, sorry. Okay. So now the next thing I want to do is change this to a print and cut image. So to do that, instead of basic cuts, go to print then cut, and then in the colors, change the print type from color to pattern and select any of the patterns. So Cricut Design Space has loads of patterns, and you can also upload your own pattern. I want to use like a cloud type pattern for this design. So I know there's some in Design Space, so I'm just going to see if I can find the one that I like, but you can use any one that suits you. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, actually that's not a cloud pattern, but I like this as well. That would work. Okay, so I'm just going to select both, arrange and align and center. Okay, and then I'm going to group it, and I'll do the same for the top ones as well. Select all, align, center, and group them. Okay, so there you have it. This is your shaker cake topper. So this is the, I guess, the base layer of your cake topper. So I'm going to align, center, and group that as well. So the next thing we're going to do is to start building the characters of Paw Patrol. How do you get your Paw Patrol from the internet onto Design Space? So the first thing that you have to do is to go to Google, and I've just done a quick search for Paw Patrol PNG, and then I've gone to images. Now, make sure you don't download people's royalty type images. Make sure they're royalty free. So I've got a Paw Patrol badge from Stick PNG, which is free. So once you click on the badge, you can just right click and save image as, and it's saved into your downloaded folder. I'm just going to save it as Paw Patrol badge. So that's my first image. The second one that I want to use is an image of like a group, um, which is this one. So this is an Etsy one. I don't want to use someone's Etsy image. So I just need to find one that is, free. Let me just search. Okay, so this is one of Pinterest and it's nobody's for sale. So I'll just click on there. And then once again, right click, save image as. Make sure it's saved as a PNG image, not a web image. So PNG or JPEG is fine. Paw Patrol characters. And then finally, I just want the bone. Okay, so I've just done a Google search, Paw Patrol bone PNG, and here's one of Pinterest. Once again, right click, save image as Paw Patrol bone. Paw Patrol bone. That's it, and it's a JPEG image. Okay, so we've got all the three images we need. So we go back to Cricut Design Space. So to get your images onto Design Space, go to Upload. Go to Upload Image, and then go to Browse, and it will browse your computer. Go to your downloads, and you have to do it one at a time. So I'll start with the Paw Patrol bone. So there's three types of images. You can have a simple, moderately complex, and complex, depending on how complex the images is and how much editing you need to do. I always go for the simple one. I'll just click continue, and then I'll just click into the outer space just to get rid of any like background images. Um, You can also use a background remover, and that would remove all the background as well. That hasn't quite worked well, so I'm going to undo that. And you can use the eraser to erase any spears that is not quite tidy. What I would recommend is that when you're downloading a PNG, that you would find one with a transparent background. It just saves all this editing process. Okay, apply and continue. So we have our bone. So you want to select the print and cut image um, rather than the cut image. But I'm going to go back because it might be that there's something that I'm missing. Okay, so select the print and cut and upload. So that's the first one done, and then upload the second image. Browse Paw Patrol characters. Simple again. Continue. Click to remove the background. So that hasn't worked. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to complex, and I'm going to remove background and see if that works better. Yep, that's better. And then apply and continue. Select the upload. You can see there's some holes in there, but I'm going to show you how to sort that out. Go to browse and then do the badge. I'll go to simple, continue, remove the background. Let me just click remove background. If it doesn't work, I'll go back and I'll go to complex, and then I'll remove background. Okay, apply, continue. There you go. So you can see there's some holes here. He hasn't quite done it right, but I'll show you how to fix it. This will be a good print and cut lesson. Okay, so I'm going to select all three and then add it to canvas so that we can start working on it. So it's just uploading. Okay, here we are. So the first thing I'm going to deal with is the bone. So just click on the bone, click on offset, create an offset, apply. Sometimes the offset works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on what mode Design Space is. So offset again, let's try that again. Okay, that's worked. So change the color to white and then go to that offset, go to your contour. There's no contour. That means there's no holes in the middle, which is brilliant. So what I do is I select both and align them to the center, and then I flatten it. So it's one image. So I'm going to do another offset because we had a double layer of this. And then I'm going to make it white, and then I'm going to change it to a basic cut image. Okay, and then I'm going to group it. And you see why I've done this when I do the assembly video. Okay, so that goes to the bottom of our shaker, and that's where the name sits. So the next one is this group character images. So when we did it, there was some holes in the middle and we don't really want to cut it out like that. So I'm going to do exactly what I did with the bone. I'm going to do a little offset and I'm going to make it like 0.04, quite small, like just a thin offset, sorry. Apply, um, change the color to, sorry, just, this just, yeah, it hasn't worked. So I'm going to delete that and do it again. So offset, apply. Okay, so you can see the holes in the middle. I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to change it to a basic cut and then go to contour. And then by clicking hide all contours, all the holes in the middle are hidden. And you can see it's all clear. Let me just show you down the bottom. Yeah. And then I'll change it to white. And then I'll place this on top of it. Select both, align center, and then flatten. Okay, so now that's one image. That's perfect. And then that sits here behind our bone. Okay, bone comes to the front. Okay, so our topper is beginning to take shape. And then the next thing is the Paw Patrol badge. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to create the offset again. Change it to a basic cut. Change it to white. Go to my contour. Hide all contours. Close. Select both. Align, center, and flatten. So it cuts as one image. There will be no holes in the middle. It will be perfect. And then that goes to the top of my cake topper. Okay, so this topper is beginning to take shape. So the next thing is I want the paw print. So if you can remember from the original designs, there were 3 paw prints down the side, and then we had the name and the age. So the paw print is, I've got an M number for it. So I just went to an image on Design Space and I just went to paw print. However, you can also download this from Google if you prefer. But there are if you have Cricut access, there are plenty of paw print images on Design Space. Just literally just pick any one that you want. Okay, so I'll just pick one that I feel like looks closest to the Paw Patrol one. Okay, let me pick this, add to canvas. So I'm going to change this to a blue color. Make it blue, create an offset, maybe quite a large one this time. I think 0.15 maybe. Let's try that. Okay, and then change it from black to white. I'm going to go into the contour and just hide the little holes in the middle here. And then I'm going to select both, and then I'm going to select both, and then I'm going to flatten it so it becomes a print and cut image. Otherwise, it just becomes too fiddly to try and cut those little dots and then stick them on top of each other. And then I'm going to do another offset, 0.10. I'm going to apply. And then I'm going to make it white, make it a basic cut and white. And the reason for this is to just give depth to what we've cut. And then I'm just going to group it. Okay, so I'm going to place them here, make it a bit smaller. I'm trying to get this in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to angle it a little bit and then duplicate it once. And again. So you duplicate by pressing either Ctrl D or selecting this plus button here. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with this design. Finally, we just need to add the name and the age. So I have someone called Jaden who is 4 years old. So I click T for text and then I type out Jaden in capital letters and T for text again and number 4. With regards to font, I will just go into a font. I'll just use any Cricut font, or if you have any fonts in mind. You can also research or Google Paw Patrol fonts, and you can use something as similar to that as possible. You can also narrow down your font by using these types of fonts here. So I would just, let's say, use a chunky one and see what chunky looks like. Okay, so let's try that Coulson black. Okay, there you go. Coulson black, Jaden, and number 4. So obviously this doesn't look good. I'm going to layer it to make it look even better. So I'm going to use the offset feature again. It's just such a useful feature to have in Cricut Design Space. So 0.04 for the first layer. Okay. So I'm going to delete the text layer and this is going to be our first one. And then I'll do another offset, 0.10, apply. And once that's done, I'll do another offset 0.10 again and apply. And then I'm just going to change the color using the colors that I've already used for the shaker. So I'm going to start with the blue and then go to the red and then go to the yellow. No, that's red, and then go to the third layer, which is yellow. Obviously, you can build as many layers as you want, depending on the time that you have, or if it's a paid gig, how much are they paying you? You know, how much material do you want to use? You can keep going for as long as you want. And number 4, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Just do a tiny little offset to start with, maybe 0.02. I like to do the first offsets to change it from like a text format to, I guess you could call like a vector format. So get rid of the text, and then I will start with my layering, which is usually 0.10. I find that that works best for me, but you know, depending on how big you want it or what effect you're trying to get, um, you can decide. So 0.10. So once again, I'll use exactly the same colors. I like to keep my color themes the same so that I'm not using too many different colors of papers. So I'm using similar papers. And if you look at Design Space, in the material color section, the colors on your canvas will be the ones at the top here, and this will be additional colors. So if you want to use similar colors to what you've already used, just pick the ones at the top here, and then it will just reduce the amount of paper that you use. Okay, so I will just group that again. I like to group everything once I'm done working with it. So I'll just paste my number 4 here somewhere. I might make it a bit bigger. The way we all think is different. The way our brain works is different. So just do whatever works for you. So finally, before I group all of this together, I just make sure they're all aligned in the center. So I'm going to click on this and the shaker, align, align center vertically just to make sure they're in the center. No. So go back. Okay, I'm happy with that. Center horizontally, that's it. Perfect. And then I'll click Jaden and the bone, align center horizontally to make sure they're in the middle. Paw Patrol and the shaker, align center horizontally. Okay, now everything's in the middle. I might move the 4 to the side a bit more. That's it. I am happy with that shaker, and I think we'll get good results. So I'm going to select everything that I've designed now, and then I'm going to group it so that nothing moves around, nothing goes anywhere it's not supposed to. So I'm going to create a back layer, which is kind of like a backing for all of this design to rest onto. You can create as many layers as you want, but what I like to do these days is to use an acetate, like a thick acetate, 0.30 microns. Um, and I cut that out with a deep cut um, blade, and I use like a foil craft holographic setting because it's quite a thick acetate. But all of this rests on top of it, and it looks like it's all floating. It looks really, really nice, as you can see from this cake topper. But however, if you don't have the acetate, you can use a normal paper, normal cardstock. Just add a few different layers to it, and just to give it that depth. So I'm just going to go to offset again, which is our favorite thing to use. 0.10 is perfect. When it brings it up, you just press apply. Offset layer, As you can see, we have this at the back there. So I'm just going to use the contour feature again to close the gaps in the middle that has come up. So this one here, this one here, this one here, and just leave that one there. Okay. Oops, I've done it wrong. Oh no, I've done it right. Perfect. Oops. So go back. So thank God for the undo button. You can always go back to redo anything you did wrong. Redo. Okay. Contour, hide contour, hide this, 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 and this. Done. And then change the color to your acetate color that you already had on your shaker. And that is your Paw Patrol cake topper all ready to be cut out into mats. So I'm just going to select both of them, align, center, and then group. So before you cut it out, just make sure you resize it to your desired cake topper size and cut it out. So I will see you in the next video where we assemble all of this. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that when the next video is out, you will be the first to know. See you then.